Please. It's 3 o'clock. We are on. Look at that. We are so efficient, and I'd like to thank Joe. He's stepped up and he's taking the responsibility of managing our switch for us.
Of turning a
Because
switch. I can handle that. That's-
David Sill used to
You can
do
turn
that,
it on
he
and
left.
off, right?
So, we needed somebody, and I said, Joe, can you help us out? And he said, I know how to do that. I'll do it. So, thank you.
That's an important job.
It is an important job.
That's right.
So, all right, the meeting is officially called to order, and welcome. And welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Peachy. So, okay, 3 p.m. we are efficiently starting the meeting. Liz will be with us. She is set up over there, and her computer is there. And Lorelei, can you hear us? Amber?
She's there.
I can see her.
Yeah. Amber, can you help us out? She's supposed to be helping us out with Lorelei. Where is she?
She went inside.
She's inside. Can you knock on the door? One of you, Amy, just knock on that LCTV door and see if she can come out
And help us.
and help.
Help.
Oh, Lorelei, can you talk to us so I know you that we can hear you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, there you are. Thank you kindly. We're just Liz will be here, but she's gonna be late. So we're trying to make sure that we are able to communicate, that's all. So,
Okay.
thank you. Okay, so we have a quorum. We are missing Jean Sill, and I do believe, he may have been coming back today. It seems to me I remember hearing something about that. They were returning from their trip to Alaska today, but I could be wrong. But anyway, she's not here, but if she's not, that's why, I think. But we have a quorum, and we only need 4, because we're down to 7 at the moment. Okay, so, and staff are here, thank you very much. Amy and Nicole, and Liz will be here later, as I said. So, we will be, if she's not here, by the time we get to the director's report, I'm gonna switch the agenda around a little bit. We'll be flexible, if that's okay with everybody.
Sure.
Okay. And a reminder that this is an open meeting law, open meeting, and we have to abide by the open meeting laws, which are very complex, but we do our best to do it right. And so far, knock on wood, we've been okay, so. Okay, announcements. Yes,
I have 2.
Marilyn has 2 announcements.
The first one is the Memory Cafe will be at the First Baptist Church. I think that's it. The Baptist Church on the corner of the common.
Yes, it
On
is.
Saturday, July the 22nd, from 10 to 12. So if anyone has anyone that would love to attend the Memory Cafe, that's a good time and a good spot. The other one is the food pantry, the little door that you open,
Oh.
can always use more food at the Baptist Church.
Thank you. That's very nice of you. You're taking Ann Lee's.
I told Ann Lee I would do it for her.
Wow, well, that's wonderful. Ann Lee used to do that. She was on the board, and she stepped down, and she's very involved. She runs the Memory Cafe.
Yes, and she does a really good job.
Yes, and so thank you very much, and that's nice of you to take that on and get the word out to people, because it's hard to get words out. We know that.
Yes.
I heard she's
especially-
learning to drum so that she can teach some songs for drumming.
Really?
And she told me that when she comes back from Canada or Alaska that I'm going to have to learn it.
Oh,
So
she's
see.
quite a talented girl.
she's very talented.
Very
Yes.
talented, Ann Lee is, so.
Yep.
Yeah, so, thank you. Other announcements? Anyone? No? Yeah. Anything?
Craft class is closed till September.
Okay. Because it's time to take a little break.
Because the crafting ladies are taking a vacation.
Yeah, I think it's well-deserved.
Yes.
That is a lot of work, running that class.
It's a lot of work.
I've participated in
It's
some of the.
it's
craft.
rewarding, but it's a lot of work.
It is, and it's a great event, and people love it, so, thank you very much, and you deserve the break. So, okay,
But we will return.
all right. Any other announcements? No? Okay. Moving on then, we're down to the minutes of the June 12th meeting. And they're in your packet. I'll do with mine. Do we have any corrections or changes or anything that need to be made?
I didn't see any.
No? If not, we can entertain a motion. We'll move right along. That's good.
I'll move that we approve the minutes as read.
Well, second.
Okay, thank you. All right, any other discussion, any additional discussion about the minutes? If not, we will proceed to a roll call. Marilyn?
Yes?
Marilyn is a yes. I have to find your name here, because I try to use it and try to make sure I don't miss anybody. Joe?
Yes.
Thank you. Susan?
Yes.
Anita?
Yes.
And Marge is a yes. Lorelei? Is that a yes? Okay. I didn't hear you, but I can see that you're there, so thank you. All right. It's a unanimous vote. The minutes are approved. Moving on. No one's here from the Friends. That's interesting. I thought Sandra was going to be here today, but I guess not.
But didn't she say they don't usually meet in the summer?
They don't,
They
but
don't,
she
but we
was.
do.
We
I
do.
know.
She was gonna come.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
okay.
might have, something must have come
Yeah,
up.
because she made a comment, you know, that,
Yeah, but that's okay. So we will move on. She's not here. Okay. Now, I'm going to suggest and ask that we skip the director's report, but we have the assistant director and the outreach coordinators here, so we can do that portion. Is that okay with the board?
Sure.
yes.
And with all of you, because that way if you have to get moving, you can do that, so. Okay, why don't we do that? So Nicole. You look so summery
Hi-
and so
oh.
relaxed. It's just refreshing.
Thank you. I
have
just
to
got back
say.
from vacation, so I'm
I
trying
know.
to
Did you
keep
have
it.
a good
I did. We had a nice time. Very
Good.
fun. So I just have a few things. Our last meeting was right before our first pasta and meatball supper back in June, and so I just wanted to give you a quick update. We had a really successful turnout. 31 people signed up and 31 people attended.
Wow.
Charlie made a delicious meal, and we had enough for every single person to go home with leftovers, which was
Yep.
really great.
They did.
We had Chris Carter playing acoustic guitar and singing, and it was really special night, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. We had a great group of volunteers who were there from the start all the way until the very end, helping everyone get out of there on time. Charlie, Anita, Kathy, Nancy, Andy, Barbara, Sue, we really could not have done it without them. It was amazing. And we just finished our second and last month back at Shaker Lane School for Book Buddies. We've had a really tremendous response from the seniors who have gone in to read and from the school. So I'm hoping to run it for the full school year starting in September. So if I know there were people who didn't get to sign up because it filled up so quickly. So people can keep their eye out in the September
That seems to be a very
broadcaster.
popular thing.
Yeah.
It was before, you know.
It was, yeah, and it's working out really well. We had an illusionist, Lynn Dillies, come here in June, and she was amazing. And LCTV recorded it, so if people missed it, they can check on LCTV. It should be up pretty soon. We have 2 trips for July that are already full, which is great news. We have some more trips this summer, another trip to Tower Hill if you didn't get in for this month, and a trip to the Museum of Russian Icons, which was very highly requested by many people. So that will be exciting. And we have quite a few lunch and learns coming up, a special water class with Kimberly Stoney, who is a Littleton resident. We have the Blood Mobile returning in September. Anyone wants to donate blood. They're also going to be coming back in April. They're going to be coming every spring and every fall moving forward. And one more new thing starting in September, we're going to be hosting a monthly elder law drop-in session. So we have an elder law attorney. His name is Philip, and I'm not going to attempt to pronounce his last name. He was here several months ago for a lunch and learn, and he was very popular. So he's going to be coming the first Friday of every month,
Wow.
starting in September. People can sign up for 15-minute sessions with him, ask him any questions, things like that. So I'm really excited about that. So
And isn't there another dinner that Charlie's doing in July?
No,
it's a
waffle.
Oh, a
it's
breakfast.
a breakfast,
Oh.
Belgian waffles.
Front stuff
Yes.
was,
Yes.
right. But that's great. He's the one that did the spaghetti dinner, right?
He is,
And
yes.
his food, his cooking is very popular.
It's very popular.
Yes, so-
It's very popular. I feel like once a week I'm calling him saying, Charlie, would you want to cook for this? He hasn't gotten sick of us yet, so that's all I have.
I
It's
think,
interesting. Oh, go ahead.
I think it's good that everybody is stepping up to volunteer.
Hmm.
I mean, like that supper was really a fun time.
Yes.
But we needed, we need more guys, because for cleanup,
Right.
getting things
Tables,
outside, and,
chairs,
yeah. Other than that, it was really cool.
Yeah, but the cleanup for that supper in particular was really seamless, and I had
It was.
planned to be there much later than I was, and it was thanks to all the volunteers that we were able to get out on time. So it was
Yeah.
really
Did you
amazing.
mention a volunteer, Nancy Levine?
Yes, I did.
She did. She
She
drove
did all
me
the
crazy.
dishes.
She did all the dishes.
Yes,
It was like, wow.
and there was a lot of dishes, and you have to stand
Oh, yeah. There
and
was
kind of lean over to
oh,
do
yeah.
them. So
It was
yeah,
a lot.
that was a huge help.
Great.
So it was amazing. So thank you to
It's
everybody.
very exciting. I was on the National Council on Aging website this weekend, and they were talking about the fact that senior centers have to be progressing and changing their focus, and having events like you're planning, so many educational events now, and other than, the whole structure has changed, and the needs of seniors
Yeah.
have become more and more evident, and so it's refreshing.
It's nice, and we saw
You
there were a lot of
guys
new
do a great
faces
job.
at that pasta dinner. A lot of new faces, which is nice to
It
see new
is.
people coming in and meeting people. So
Yeah.
it's good.
So actually, maybe I'll read that paragraph. I just read it to the board a few minutes ago, and I'd like to read it again. Maybe I could do it now if you think it's okay. It'll only take a minute. But it would be good to get the word out to viewers too, and, because I have it right here. But this is the National Council on Aging website. And they have an article, it's called Senior Center Facts, which I happened to stumble across, and I read you one paragraph. It says, "Today's senior centers are reinventing themselves to meet the needs and desires of 3 generations of older adults. Baby boomers now constitute more than 2/3 of the 50-plus population. Senior centers are developing new programs and opportunities for this dynamic generation of older adults and have an eye towards the future with the leading age of Generation X turning 60 in 2025. And I think that's so true, and it speaks volumes because I think Littleton is right on. And I just want to thank you. Okay, I'm very emotional. All right, anyone else have anything they'd like to add to that? No? Amy and Elizabeth, come forth. These 2 girls are amazing. I just can't believe everything they get done.
So I won't take, I know you have a very full agenda. I don't have too much. I just wanted to quickly update everyone. So we're coming into July, August, so we have TREAD coming up, which is
That's right.
tax relief for the elderly and disabled.
Mhm.
So I have started mailing out the applications to folks that have previously applied to the program or who have mentioned interest in previous conversations since the last application deadline. So all these applications and the necessary supporting documentation need to be submitted to me or Alicia by September 30th. Applications after that date will not be accepted, and if they are incomplete, they will not be submitted for determination for the program. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I also wanted to let everyone know that we just received today the farmers market coupons. So if you are interested in exploring whether you fall into the financial eligibility for those coupons, just give us a call. And if you do, you can come down and pick out your booklet.
And to add to the TREAD, anybody out there listening, TREAD is run by donations only. So in order to be able to help the seniors who apply for TREAD to the relief of their taxes, we need money donated to that fund so that we'll have enough money in the fund to help them.
Right.
And TRED stands for
Tax relief for the elderly and disabled.
Right, just for people that might not be familiar with it.
Yeah,
And you don't have
so-
to, you don't have to be elderly, you can be disabled and
Right.
still qualify.
It's just so hard to get information out nowadays, so, but thank you.
Yes.
It just is scary when you realize that the deadline's September 30th, and that'll be here before we know it.
Yes.
And
Right.
it's so
And
hard. We could-
vacations and everything with the
Yeah.
summer, it gets very busy, so it's better to start now and then wait until the last minute, so.
And
No
that's one of the
procrastinating.
jobs, I'm hoping that this is a new year now for the COA board starting, and one of our jobs, I think, should be really taking an active, very active role in educating people and getting words out, helping to get the word out about things. So I am anticipating that one of the things we can be doing a better job at this year. So.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Look at that, Liz is coming just at the right time, but you have to follow one of your workers. So, we're hearing exciting news about all the great things that are going on.
I wasn't even gonna come up, but I just wanted to quickly add, just in case, I don't see you guys in August for some reason, I wanted to just mention, open enrollment, which for Medicare beneficiaries is coming up in the fall. So it's a little bit of ways away, but throughout the summer, I know people will start to get things from their drug plans or from their Medicare Advantage plans and kind of updating them on what's to come for the new year. So just keep an eye out for that and always give a call if we can answer any questions now or book you for an appointment during open enrollment, which starts October 15th.
Great. That is so, good that get the word out and remind us that we've
Yeah.
got to start paying attention to this, so.
It's coming.
Oh, now Liz has to get up. She just got here. Do you want us to go on and then come back to you?
Sure, I'm just trying to open my files really quickly.
Well, do you want us to, we can wait. We're good. We're down to the report, so it's fine. If you would prefer that we can move on though, but then you might have to wait a long time. So maybe it's better this
Pressure's
year.
on. Okay. You're opening. I'm gonna hit share and I'll go for it.
Okay, go for it, go for it.
Okay. And now that I said that, I can't find.
Just take your time. It's only 3:15.
I
We
know.
are still good to go, so, as far as
You're
time
doing
goes.
very well.
We are.
Yes.
Share screen options. Why don't you go ahead? This is giving me trouble already.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry, Marge.
No, that's okay, that's not a problem. So, I wanna just mention, somebody mentioned to me that they would like to see that I switch the agenda, the structure under new business around as to what we do first. And it was suggested that we should be addressing election of officers first, and under new business, rather than putting it, I just put it down under, it was in the middle, so, on the agenda, so what does the board wish to do? Get that straightened out. Does it matter to anybody? Do you want to do that first?
Just do it in any order you want to.
It doesn't matter
It's
to me.
fine.
Doesn't matter to me either. Anybody
It
else?
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay, well, that's
We're
fine.
easy, Marge, remember?
Yeah,
We just roll with the punches.
we're flexible.
We're good.
We have to be able to
We're
roll with the
flexible.
punches, that's for sure lately. So, all right, well then, I would suggest then, we have two guests here that are sitting and waiting, they would like to join us as board members. And we have a job of interviewing them, and you have their applications in your packet. And you have the questions, which, I will explain to the board. We revised the questions back in 2021, and we did not change them until, I took the liberty of changing them, and it deleted 2 of the questions that we had. We had 7, and now I've brought it down to 5. I checked with the vice chair and for her opinion, and she felt that it was appropriate to
Yeah.
drop those questions.
They
It
weren't
was-
that important.
They weren't, it was about past volunteering experiences and, so just, I'm being up in the transparency mode, letting you know that I did that.
Yep.
So we have 5 questions, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, but so why don't we start with Marilyn, take question number one, go around the table, and we'll ask Mary Ann, since ladies, no offense, John, but we'll do
Mary Ann?
ladies first. Come up to the microphone, please.
Mary Ann, please come to the microphone.
So people can't hear you on TV if you don't come to the microphone. Oh, well, we're very friendly.
Mary
We're
Ann,
very
you know
friendly.
that.
You can lower it, adjust it to yourself, feel comfortable.
There. Okay,
So, and our questions are very simple.
awesome.
Okay.
I'm ready. Yes, dear.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to be on the COA board.
Okay. My husband and I purchased the land here in Littleton back in 1969. We live on Berry Bush Road. We raised our 2 children there. We built our home in 73. My past history, I am a registered nurse. I still maintain my license. I am retired, but I very much enjoy the BP clinic upstairs and all the activities. I've become really quite comfortable here now, and I really enjoy being a part of the community. I think when our children were younger, we were just so wrapped up with our jobs and their activities that we really didn't have the time to do much in the reaching out into the community. But now we are happily retired, and I didn't want to stagnate and sit at home and twiddle my thumbs, so here I am. Yep. Thank you.
Sounds good, thank you. She does a good job because she takes my blood pressure
Yes.
once a month.
Oh, all right, there we go.
Yes.
Perfect. So, okay.
And I get question 2?
You do, we'll just go right around.
Okay. Okay.
And he's getting a break, because he's
Oh.
gonna have the same questions. We don't switch questions.
That's fine, because I was, what would I say?
We're pretty flexible here, just
Yeah,
want
yeah.
you to know.
This question is a sort of a 2-part question.
Okay.
The first part is, what is your understanding of the role of the COA board? And the second part is, what's your understanding of the role of EHS in general?
As I have introduced myself to the activities that go on here, I realize that the activities and the board really is attempting to assist Liz and all of these hardworking ladies. I watch them on Tuesday throw their food into the microwave, dash it back to their office, and I think, no, that is just, they don't even have time to take lunch. And that reminds me of my career as a nurse. I was lucky that I was able to use the ladies' room, never mind to sit and have lunch. So I see how hard they work and what they're accomplishing. I know Liz came to one of our meetings. My husband and I are also members of the MRC
Right.
and the CERT team here in town. So we have that volunteer attitude with us, and I can just see how much Liz accomplishes. She read off her list of what her job entails, and we were just dumbfounded. So yes, I see this need. A baby boomer, I call myself the baby boomer, and I want to be still contributing. I still want to be able to do what I can to, I've always been a caregiver, and I'm not about to stop. Yeah.
Thank you.
You bet. Hi,
Okay.
Anita.
The COA board engages in various discussions on many topics, and sometimes there's disagreements. How would you handle a situation should that come up?
I think I'd listen to both sides. I'd make sure that I was Switzerland, but not, I would want to hear both sides, and then I would draw my conclusions from that. Certainly, I don't want to involve myself in, contradictory and negative whatever. I would be open-minded, fair, and definitely listening to all sides. Yeah, definitely. Hey, Marge.
I'm gonna skip, because the last one is easier. I have to give you a spiel at the end anyway. So Joe, can you do 4 and then I
Sure.
can do 5? Thank you.
Statistics indicate Littleton's aging population will increase incrementally over the next 5 to 10 years. What do you believe are the greatest needs that should be addressed now to meet the growing needs?
Gosh, as a healthcare provider, I can see that the clinics that we have, I participated in, John and I, with the CERT team, we did over almost 50 clinics with the COVID vaccines, the flu vaccines. I can see that health and wellness is important, quality of life, and I think that's what the COA provides, is some real, that bulletin is chock-a-block full of all kinds of activities that are really stimulating to the mind and to the body, with all the exercise programs and all that. I really feel that we offer a lot, we offer a lot. And the longer I've been a part of this group and, working upstairs and attending the activities, I can just see how much fun it is, The arts and crafts, I loved my wreath. Yeah.
I hope it's hanging on your door.
You know it, yes,
Okay.
you know it. So, no, seriously, I can see the aging population. I want quality of life. I worked in long-term care. Marge and I know each other for over 50 years.
She's telling secrets now, but
Yes,
it's true.
I know, and she knows me only as Peachy, and that's fine.
That's exactly right. She's not Mary Ann.
No.
When I have to just share with you, when I received the email saying Mary Ann has
Yes.
applied, I'm like, who's Mary Ann?
Yeah, I know.
Really,
Exactly.
I did. I was like, who is she?
Yeah, Marge and I go back to the days of the Walden Rehab in Concord and
Yeah.
Suburban Manor.
Yeah.
So I know quality of life as we age, we want to be able to age in place, to be happy, content, cared for, loved,
Stimulated.
stimulated, and that's it, yeah. That's my
Thank you.
feel. Thank you so much.
And the last question, this is why I said, can I do this one?
Yeah.
Is, do you have any questions for the board?
No, I was very honored when Marge approached me at the activity we just had, making those beautiful wreaths, and I thought, really, you would consider myself to participate with this? And I was really very touched that she reached out to me, so I thank you for that. Yeah.
So, I have to, share and make sure that it's out, and it's good, every time we have a meeting, this is televised, as you well know. And so it's a one way of getting the word out, even though a lot of people don't watch, but we're increasing that slowly as time goes by.
Right.
But, so, I just want to explain a few things to you, and it gets out to the public too. So I'm gonna read it, so I don't mess it up.
No, it's
That's
okay.
okay with you, and I'm not gonna read it twice, John, so I'll share everybody that. Because you can hear it now. So, all board members you're appointed by the select board. You're here and being interviewed by us so that we can make a recommendation and suggestion to the select board for tonight. Actually, you're on the agenda for tonight's meeting. And I will be getting in touch with the select board secretary, or whatever she's called, or whoever, to make sure that they results of we will take a vote as to our recommendation to them, and you can be there because we are transparent, have nothing to hide, that's why it's an open meeting. So, all people that end up being appointed to a town board like this board are considered town employees, unpaid. No, you don't get any salary for this. But it brings with it a lot of obligations. And so one of them is that you have to adhere to all the laws and take training as instructed by the town clerk, which she would get in touch with you if you are appointed tonight. She'll let you know, you have to do training on the computer. Most of it's on the computer. So, correct, board members?
Yeah, it is.
And it's not that demanding. No, it's not that demanding.
It's
but
not
this-
demanding, it
no.
just takes time to
Do
go
it.
through the screens.
It's the
Okay.
open meeting law, you have to understand that, and
Yeah.
a couple of others, and so, yeah, it's not a big thing, but I just like to let people know, you have to do it. So. And every, like, 3 years, she'll remind you,
Yes.
if you're still involved, the
Yes.
town clerk's office will remind you, oh, you gotta do this again, so. Okay, and then we have manuals that, with rules and regulations and et cetera in them, and job descriptions and things of that nature. And we have in our rules and regulations, a requirement that all board members will attend a minimum of one continuing education event, which is related to elder resident needs.
There's a CEU for me.
This, I know that, you have to, as a nurse, and I did as a therapist too, have to, always have that yearly training. So, but that's a requirement, and you can do it online, or sometimes we went to recently, the Massachusetts Council on Aging sponsored a training event in different towns, and 5 of us went to Fitchburg. And it was a morning, took up a morning, but it was pleasant. You get to meet other people too,
Sure,
doing things of
sure.
that nature. So it's not a big thing, but you are required to do that.
Right,
So,
right.
Anybody want to add anything about that?
Nope.
No? Okay, and obviously, these meetings are televised, and people need to know that, because sometimes they're horrified. You realize they're going to be on TV, and I like to make sure people realize that, because, and it is a monthly meeting.
Yep.
By law, we meet monthly. Our rules say that we cannot meet, but we have to vote not to meet. So, and this year, we're gonna have to discuss that today, because normally, in the past, the COA board has voted not to meet in August. However, I have concerns about not meeting due to the anticipation breaking of ground for the senior center, so. We'll see, but anyway, but that's, and I will update a manual and get a copy of the manual to you if you are appointed, so that you have time to go over it before you,
Sure.
so. Okay, and then we do have duties. We have some subcommittees that have not been too active due to COVID, but we will be looking at, this is the beginning of a new fiscal year for us, so we will be revising our, goals for the next year and what we need to be focusing on, as I alluded to a little while ago about getting the word out about different things. And that might be a big focus. It's a big need, I think, so. And we have a few appointed positions that the chair appoints somebody, like right now, Susan has been representing us on the Affordable Housing Trust. They wanted a COA board member to be a member of that group. And Susan has been representing us very nicely ever since the Affordable Housing Trust developed, really?
No,
No.
they had formed before that, but it's been a while.
Yeah, you've been, yes.
It's been a
So,
while.
and she also represents us with Minuteman Services in Lexington. They're still in Lexington.
No.
They
they're
moved to
in- they're
Bedford.
Bu- No, they're
Bedford?
in Burlington now.
Oh, they were in Burlington.
They moved
I knew
again.
they moved someplace.
They moved.
Yeah.
Burlington.
So, and some in Maryland represents us on the Transportation Advisory Committee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which also involves the bike path and
Yep.
pedestrian. It also gets that involved a little bit.
And there aren't, there aren't 8 or 9 of those, but anyway, so it varies. But there's always something that can be done. So. Okay. So, the last thing I want to mention is that the function of the COA board is to act in an advisory capacity. We do not supervise the director or the staff. That is not our job. That is the town administrator's job. But we work closely with the director. That's why she sits, and she's always at our meetings, or the assistant director if she can't be here. They actively, and staff, they actively support us, because we need to be a team. So, that's really our job.
Yes.
And that takes on different formats and different styles, but the board decides that in conjunction with talking with the director always. So, that's basically. But there's so much to do. And so many important things that need to be done. And as when I read that little National Council on Aging paragraph, Liz wasn't here, but anyway, I was read them a paragraph that I found of talking about how senior centers are reinventing themselves now. So, okay.
Wonderful.
Any questions for us? No? And then we will talk to your husband and get his answers to the 4 questions anyway. He might have more questions for us than you did.
Yeah,
So,
I'm good, thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
When you do my blood pressure next, I want it to go down, please.
Hey, yeah, if you've got tricks for that to happen, I'll come see you. Come on up, John.
That's true.
Just for your knowledge, I don't know if you're aware, we have had a husband and wife team
Yes.
on the board. Jean and David Sill. Jean is not here because they went on a trip to Alaska. I think they were returning today. I'm not sure. I think it was today that they were returning, and that's why she's not here. But she is on the board. He stepped down. So you'll be giving us another husband and wife team. So,
Well,
and I'm sure Joe would love to have another male on the board.
John, tell me a little bit about yourself and why you would like to be on the board. Not just because your wife is on the board, but why you would like to be on it.
well, my wife came home and said, gee, I've been asked to become part of the board. And, I was interested, saying, well, what does that mean? What do you do? What are the responsibilities and all of that? So I've been trying to learn what are the responsibilities of the board, to know if I'm elected, what am I going to be doing? The reason, let's say that the 2 of us, we want to give back to the town. That's why my wife joined the MRC team, and she was on it for about 2 years before I joined the team. And so we went as a husband and wife team on the CERT team, and there's a couple other husband and wife teams as part of that. So the whole thing is looking at becoming more involved with the town and the direction of the town and how can we help the town. Because as my wife said, when we were raising our kids, we really weren't much of the town. I worked for Digital, so I worked in many towns around Littleton. I retired from the plant out here when I retired in 2002. And at that point, I didn't want to go to California, and it looked like that was a possibility of the management team I was part of. So really, is giving back to the town, help the town. I have enjoyed a lot of the activities of the that you have sponsored. I loved the apple pick. That was great. I was looking forward to the peach picking, but that couldn't happen because there are no peaches.
I know.
Well, there's 2 peaches. But I don't know, does that answer you?
That does. It doesn't tell me a little bit about you personally.
Personally?
What did you do? You said you worked for Digital, but what did you do?
Well, I
Were you
was,
an engineer? Were you?
well, I
marketing?
joined them to, as a supervisor in the spec department for writing purchase specs for all the components and
okay.
devices. And I became manager there, and I transferred from there, and I went into a group that we worked with people. We're still part of the purchase spec department, plus we became involved with the IS. So we developed a component information system for all the engineering people to use.
I was just curious because,
Yeah.
when you said Digital, but it was so huge.
Oh, yeah.
What
I wore many different hats between digital, compact, and, well, wore the same hat at HP. I only stayed with HP 6 months.
I chose not to go to Texas.
Well, Texas was interesting.
No, I chose not to go.
Yeah.
You sound like my husband, digital.
Uh-huh.
He went through the whole thing, compact and HP,
Yeah,
same
Yeah.
thing.
yeah. It was a great company.
It was,
It was
It
wonderful.
was a
it was.
really great company.
Okay,
Okay.
so now Sue will have.
My question is, what is your understanding of the role of this board and the role of EHS?
Well, the role of the board, I was, kind of questioning in my mind, oh, well, what are we stepping into if we become part of it? So I've now got a much better idea of what the board is and what it does. With the helping of the seniors, I look at it and say, well, as you can tell, I'm a senior. I've been retired now, quite a few years, 21 years. And I've enjoyed getting into the world of the senior, what happens and what are the activities. I know Andy from digital, and so I've known him for many years. But I just enjoyed becoming a part of the town, becoming a part of the senior activity, and meeting a whole bunch of new people. And it's always interesting. We sit at a table for the different lunches with different people, and by the time you finish, well, now I know a few more people in town. So it's been very, very good.
Thank you.
Okay. Mine is, the COA engages in various discussions of many types, and sometimes there's a lot of disagreements. And how would you handle a situation
Well,
that gets real contentious?
I was a manager at Digital Compact and HP. I had many dealings with issues, and as my wife was saying, you stand back, you understand what the issues are, and you resolve them to the best of your ability. And I've had to lay off people, and those are never, they're not always very good meetings. And so I've been in many of those situations.
Okay. Joe?
Statistics indicate Littleton's aging population will increase over the next 5 to 10 years. What do you believe are the greatest needs that should be addressed now and to meet the growing needs?
Well, I look at the issues with the medical and what the seniors are up against, and we need to help seniors understand what are their options, what are the best things they can do, what's the best way to spend their money as far as health and aid with the health plans. I look at the activities, and I find that's great. The more activities that you can have, I think the better off it is. You bring more people in. People get to know one another, much more in the town. And so I just would love to work on that part, saying, what else can we do as a team? What can we do to bring the seniors in? And I know one other thing, I don't know what we're doing, but I recently had a phone call, a person trying to tell me they were my grandson.
Oh, gee.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think to help the seniors, we need to do program of what is happening out there. What are the possibilities? You know, you could get a call saying, I'm your grandson. And the conversation didn't last long, but I was standing there going, who is this? What is this? We just, last week, had I opened a message, and all of a sudden, I was supposedly locked. My computer was locked. And looking at it, it was Apple, and it gave me the phone number, and it kept on playing this message. And our son is the technical support for in Concord at one of the schools. And immediately, where are you, John?
Yeah.
So he called me back. Stupidly, I did dial the number that they gave,
No.
but the person that answered wouldn't answer questions that I had, and very difficult to understand. So if I'm going, this is not good. My son called while I was on that. I immediately hung up, talked with my son. He said, Dad, that's one of the scams. You didn't give anything. I said, no, I did not. But I think we need some programs that will bring seniors in and explain to them
Yeah, make
what's
them,
going on out
Yeah.
there.
make them understand,
Yeah,
yeah.
and our police department is great.
Remember the police department
Yeah,
came
we
and
did
and they
some,
did
not
one
lately,
on.
not lately, but, and I was scammed.
A few months.
I mean, I got
I was.
involved in a situation back in March this past year. So, I mean, I can tell from personal experience. But anyway,
Yeah,
I
I
think you're
can
right.
too.
That's a good topic for a program, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Also to,
thank
That's
you, good
the-
subject, thank you. That's the word I wanted.
You know, that's what I would like to be,
Top- you
to
wanna
help with.
Help with
And-
programming, great. So, thank you.
Okay.
Any questions for the board? I don't
No.
think I need to go over everything that I did with your wife, but if you have any questions,
No,
always
I
feel
don't
free to call.
really.
I'm accessible, so call me
Yeah.
if you have
Yeah.
questions.
Oh, I listened to the conversation you had with my wife today.
Oh.
Well, you knew we were,
Oh, yeah, you know,
Doing it.
she's very good. She's very, she knows transparency and how to be upfront, and she said to me, I'm gonna put you on speaker so my husband can hear us. Is that all right? I said, sure. So,
Yeah.
when we were talking one day, yeah.
okay?
Yes, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Ever so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you both for sharing with us. And there's one other thing I will say, and this is important, I think, that people don't always realize too. When you were talking, at one point I was thinking, this board is all about programming, you know, this kind of thing. We have nothing to do with fundraising, and we cannot legally go out and solicit an active, but that's the role of the Friends of the COA. So people don't always understand that. I think that it gets confused sometimes, and people think, you know, that we can do that, but we can't, and it's actually against the law. So we can advocate, we can make needs known, but we cannot go and ask, ever. So just to make that clear too. Okay. Any questions from the board?
I just think one of the things to add to what, of everything you said, that we talked about going forward this year, to make all board members more active in what's going on every month and get them involved in Nicole's programs when she's gonna do a supper or something, that board members get involved somehow to support
We
her.
can talk, we're gonna be talking about that when
And-
we talk about our responsibilities and go over
Yeah.
the rules and regs. I think it's a good time when we do that.
Yeah,
When we go over the rules and regs to revisit responsibilities.
how we can do that, yeah.
If it's okay with the board. Because it's 10:04, and we have to pay attention to business, because stuff to get, all the stuff we gotta get done too, so. Okay. Now, we need to make a recommendation to the select board for tonight's meeting. They are making appointments at 7:30, I think it's on the calendar for. And I know I'm planning on being there, and Anita is too, I think. You were, anyway. So, I would like to proceed, and, we need to take a vote so that I can advise the select board our decision about, appointing Mary Ann and John Peachy to the board. How would you like to proceed?
I make a recommendation that
Okay.
we go to the select board tonight to appoint Mary Ann and John to the COA board.
I will second that.
So, okay, thank you. Anita and Marilyn is seconding that we recommend that they be appointed
To the COA board, yep.
Okay, thank you kindly. All right, any other discussion? Okay, then we will proceed with a vote. Lorelei, you there? Our quiet board member?
I'm here.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, that's a yes for you, thank you. Marilyn?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Anita?
Yes.
And Marge is a yes, so that was easy. Thank you very much. So, I will, yes. We will,
You won't be sitting out there anymore.
so, we will be at the select board meeting tonight, and I know that you've been told about that, and you can or cannot attend, and, you know, we'll see you if you're there, so. But we will be there to make sure they get the message. So, okay. Thank you very much. So that took up a little bit of our time. Let's do the election of officers and get that done. Can
Well,
get
don't
that?
don't we need Liz's?
Oh, do we,
want me to
yeah, why don't we do that, because she has to leave on time, which she cannot stay, and we wanna get done by 4:30 anyway, but why don't you do your director's report, and then we can vote to accept the reports.
Yes.
Okay. You're on.
Thank
Good,
you,
'cause-
Marge.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Waiting for my Zoom's box isn't shrinking. That's okay. Okay, so typically I start off every director's report with a update on the statistics, and for the statistics I track everything from transportation to outreach assistance for under 60 versus over 60, how many event sign-ins we had that month, and then I track it annually and then compare it to the previous fiscal year. So this was the last month of our fiscal year of FY23. This month we didn't break any records like we did last month, where we had the highest number of over 60 outreach people contacted and event sign-ins for the month of May, but we still had really high numbers for the month of June that I'm very pleased with. If you go over to the annual totals here, every single category is up over last fiscal year.
Wow.
Which I would slightly expect, because FY22 was our second year coming out of COVID, or our first year coming out of COVID. But now I feel like things are back in the swing. So almost 2,000 rides for the for the year, the fiscal year, which is really good, considering that we've been short on drivers most of the year. Really pleased with that, so thank you to the team here who makes all of this happen. Last month, I reported that we had applied for the Massachusetts Rural Transportation Programs Helping Hands mini grant. We did receive that for $600.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that was for shirts for the drivers, high visibility, and also jackets for staff for when we're out doing outreach. Kind of like Marilyn has on the PRCE shirt right now, that we would have EHS COA shirts while we're doing our outreach. So we received that $600,
good.
and the Friends also pledged $100 in addition to that because it required a local match. So very pleased about that. I'm going to the select board meeting tonight because the Friends gave us $875 from their annual appeal towards the new building gift fund. So I'm going tonight to ask that the select board accept that donation. And the rest on my list is all in relation to the senior center building. Would you like me to save that until we get to?
Sure, we can do that, if that's okay.
All All right,
Okay.
and that's what we're doing. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot senior tax work-off
Oh,
program. Senior tax work-off program sign-up is in full swing. We have at least 8 brand-new participants who have signed up. Folks who I've actually never seen before, who've never visited the COA before. And this is them dipping their toe into the water of what we do. So it's really excited to see these new faces. I need to ask these folks how they heard about us. Was it
Yeah.
the website? Was it the newsletter from a friend? I think a lot is word of mouth so far, but some really good skills coming in. I think we're going to be about 88, 90 for participants
Wow.
in the program. I'm sure more will start to trickle in, and I'm sure some will drop out of the program, but one of the most probably robust program in the state, and got some calls. Actually, I received a call from another town recently who had a very limited program, 15 spots, wondering
Wow.
how we increased it to where ours is now. So they got that information from MCOA, who is our state association. So
That's
it's known
nice.
that we
So
have
it's
a very
getting out there.
healthy, robust program.
And are you gonna carry on the one if senior can't work, someone else can do it for him?
Yes.
You're gonna
we
continue
still-
that?
Yep, that was voted on by the select board, so that's
Okay.
not even in my power to do away with, but I think it works really, really well. And those folks, proxy, if you're in the senior tax work-off program and you can't physically do any work, or you cannot leave your home because you're a full-time caregiver for somebody, you can enroll in the senior tax work-off program as a proxy. So you don't have to do any hours, but say Joe could do 100 hours and donate them to you. So you would still both need to do the paperwork, but you could donate hours to somebody.
That's so exciting.
Yes, and that's voted on by the select board, and we have a handful already in that 88, 90-ish number so far.
That's good. It's
The
good.
whole tax, on our agenda, there is a tax relief, senior tax relief update, that agenda item, which is a big issue, so, and that's part of the tax relief programming for seniors, a big part, so, that is provided, so. Anyway, that's so exciting, Liz.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me what you people have done with the program. I mean, it really is, when I think about it, and how it's grown. And word is somehow getting out. We keep pushing it and pushing it, but every little bit helps, so.
Well, the taxes have gotten so high that
Well,
I
that
think
would- yes.
people are figuring, how can I stay in town?
Right, we know,
And
yeah, yep.
When I
it
was,
was on the front page too, something about, I have never looked, is the broadcaster in any of the supermarkets or any place that they can pick up like that? They are.
Yeah.
That's,
We actually have a senior tax worker whose job it is to deliver it to grocery stores and other
I just,
salons and things like that.
because I'd never looked, but I just wondered if it was available, because I know I can pick up Groton's.
Well, somebody I was talking to recently said this person became aware because their daughter, I think it was their daughter, sent them a copy of our newsletter. And I was amazed.
Whatever works.
Yeah, whatever works.
Whatever
So,
works, that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, moving on, because
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch the time now, I'm getting nervous. Okay, so, do you have anything else for your report?
Yes, that's it.
That's it. Okay, any other questions about the reports from anyone?
I think it was a great report. I move that we
Everybody's
accept.
report was good, I think it was great. It's always good news lately, it is, thank you. So,
I move that we accept the director's report, associate directors, and outreach reports as read.
second.
thank you kindly, thank you, Susan. Any further discussion about those? Nope. Okay, away we go, Marilyn,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
thank you, Susan,
Yes.
Anita,
Yes.
Marge is a yes, Lorelei,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. Okay. Do you have anything you want to say, Lorelei? I always feel so bad, but do you have any comments or anything you want to contribute? I'm going to stop right now and ask you before I forget again.
Oh, I'm very excited to meet and chat with our new members, our recommended new members. And that's it.
Okay. All right, so we can move on now. We've completed the reports. So, we do have to do election of officers. Can we get that out of the way, because it shouldn't take that long, I don't think, hopefully. Sure. If we can. Okay, and then we can move on, because we still do have, we're definitely gonna have to skip, let's just address this right now. The rules and regulations
But
annual
I
review.
think we need a senior center update, though. I think we need that.
Well, yes, definitely. The rules and regulations annual review, I'm gonna recommend we postpone that until our next meeting,
Yep,
all right?
Yep.
yep, that's fine.
And then after the election of officers, we need to decide if we're meeting in, August. And then we will get to the senior center, and we have to get to that, because it's important that we do that today.
Yes.
So,
I nominate Marge as chairman for another year.
Second.
Beat me to it.
okay, thank you very much. But I'm feeling like, okay, we're gonna have to share this sometime soon, so, but anyway. Any other nominations? No? Okay. Then I guess we have to take a vote on this.
Yes, we do.
So, okay, this is the, vote on the nomination of myself to
Chair.
chair. Okay. Lorelei. Lorelei?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Marilyn.
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
And Anita?
Yes.
And I'll agree to do it. Hopefully I can do it through the year, so. Thank you kindly. It's very nice of you all to be so supportive. I appreciate it. Okay, vice chair.
I nominate Anita Harding for vice chair.
And I'll second that
You
she
beat me,
stays
I'm
on.
gonna yell at you.
One of these times, Joe, I'm gonna nominate you.
Yo, no.
I don't know, can you stand working with me again?
Oh my God. Let me tell you, if I could get through this year with you, I can get through anything with you. Not a problem.
Well, we make a pretty good team.
We do make a good team.
Just wait till next year.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Or, no? Okay, let's vote. Well, let's move right along here. Lorelei, I'm coming to you first. This is for, Anita to be vice chair.
She said yes.
She said yes, okay. Marilyn?
Yes.
Okay, Joe?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
And Anita, yes.
Yes.
And Marge, yes. Okay, thank you. And the secretary, recorder.
Nominate Lorelei if she's got
I know,
time.
if she's got the,
If she's got the time.
yes. Lorelei, you've been nominated to help us out again.
I accept your nomination.
I didn't catch what she said.
She accepts the nomination.
Oh, thank you. I couldn't hear you myself, so thank you very much. She
I'll
has-
second it.
You'll second the nomination, okay? Here we go. Are you ready?
Was that Marilyn that seconded?
What did she say?
Was that Marilyn that
Yes,
seconded?
Okay.
yes.
Yes, Marilyn, yes.
Lorelei, I'm dying to meet you one of these days.
One of these days, we're gonna have a big celebration and get her in here or something, so. Okay,
We'll go to her house.
that's right, yeah, we could come to your house, maybe.
Have the meeting there.
All right, Marilyn,
Yes.
yes, Joe,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Anita,
Yes.
Marge is a yes, and Lorelei? Okay, a yes, thank you ever so much, wonderful, we have officers for the next year,
We do.
and thank you for being so efficient about that, so we win. Okay, that is done. Now, let's quickly decide, I am going to suggest to the board that we do not plan to meet in August because we are supposed to be breaking ground for the senior center.
That we don't meet?
that we do not, that we do meet.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, did I say do
I'm
not?
like, what are you talking about?
I'm getting tired, can you tell? Yeah.
I'll
But-
whack you upside the head.
Hey,
No, that we do meet. I think there's too much going on right now.
Yes, there
And we
is.
need to meet, we do not need to be absent and not
No, we need to
have
be
a
in the
structured time. We might need to meet more than once.
We need to be in the forefront right now.
We always meet on the second
Monday.
Monday, and it would be August 14th.
Because we're cruising.
Oh, you're cruising too. Whoa, wow, right. These people that cruise, so. Okay, but anyway, so do we, I think, we don't have to take a vote. I just wanted to, because we have had the habit of not meeting in August, I wanted to bring it up and talk about it to make sure. Yeah. Okay, we all agree. I don't think we need to vote because it wasn't really an issue, so. Okay, that's taken care of. Now,
Senior center.
we need to go on to the senior center project. And I have a couple of things I'd like to say about that. You want me to kick it off this time?
sure.
I would like to educate the board to something that has occurred in the last week. It just occurred that I became aware of it last Friday. Our agenda was posted, and I knew nothing about this, and I don't know if anybody else did, but there is a LCTV show put done every month by George Sanders. And his show for July is posted on LCTV on the, in the computer. And I watched that show.
You did end up watching it?
I did.
Wow.
I watched that show.
Yes, we all did. Well, some of us did.
No, I
Some
didn't
of
know
us-
about it.
Well, that's why I'm telling you about
Yep.
it. And in this show, I wrote myself some notes, but anyway, he spoke quite openly about his feelings. And I'm looking for my own notes that I wrote for myself to help myself out here. But anyway, he talked in the beginning about the fact that he, has been looking and thinking about money and all of this stuff. And then he went on and he started talking about, he talked a lot about the different things that are going on, the water project, different projects that the town has going, and the dollar amounts what's going on with money in the town. And then he got to talking about the senior center. And he referred to this, he said in the very beginning, I need to give him credit, he said, people can disagree with me, I just need to get this out, I need to share how I feel. And he strongly feels that the brakes should be put on the advancement of the senior center in its location over here where the tennis courts are, because it is going to be too costly and cost too much money, et cetera, et cetera. And he is advocating and asked the town, people watching the show, to call the town administrator's office and go to the meeting, the select board meeting tonight, and to the FinCom meeting tomorrow night, to voice their concerns. And he would like to see that everything be changed to the senior center would end up going to the Indian Hill site, and that building would be rehabbed to accommodate the senior center and Park and Rec. And so, I am going to attend the FinCom meeting tomorrow night. I'm concerned about this. I'm very concerned about it. I feel very strongly that the location, number one, this town spent money and have spent years on doing a space needs study as to how the town can meet the needs of all the different departments that needed more space. And back, I believe, don't quote me on the date, but I think it was in 2017, maybe, that
That's the
Indian
first
Hill.
one.
Indian Hill was considered and they hired somebody to go in and to look at Indian Hill and whether or not that was a
2020.
feasible.
2020 was the actual
2020
study.
was going into Indian.
Was it? Okay, thank you.
When
I
they
didn't-
went in,
I didn't
yeah.
write the date down, thank you. But
Which is all up online.
it's, you can get all this information online. But anyway, we all know, and people should remember, that that assessment, we paid to have people go in and determine whether or not that was a realistic thing that could happen, that Indian Hill could be renovated within reasonable cost to accommodate the senior center. And their response was quite negative. And they did not see it as a feasible option. And for many reasons, I won't go into now. We only have 10 minutes before Liz has to leave at 15 at the most, I think. So, this concern, I am personally concerned. I'm planning on being, tonight, I'm expecting that George will be at the select board meeting and take the community, or the time for public input to speak about this, because he's indicated probably he's inviting people, he was encouraging people to be there. And he's, he didn't say anything about the FinCom meeting tomorrow night, but I know that he is charging, he refers to the select board and the FinCom as the leadership fathers of Littleton. And so they're the two groups that he's directing his whole show to.
He's not on tomorrow night's agenda.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Then it's been updated since the copy I got.
It's one item.
The finance one, it was up all weekend.
Well, the one I did, I got mine from somewhere else.
So anyway, he's supposed to be there, so,
Okay.
and I would, that's a Zoom meeting.
It is
Yes,
a
it
Zoom
is.
meeting.
I am requesting that the COA board members attend that Zoom meeting if possible. Just, I do not know what's going to happen, but I think we need to be present. I also would like to hear from the board as to feelings about whether we can support that suggestion.
Support what? Suggestion.
His suggestion, or whether we are going to fight for our senior center that we now have designed and we're ready to break ground. Talk about 24th hour. To throw something like this at somebody, at people, that's silly, crazy. So anyway, but I would like feedback, because I will not speak for the board unless the board tells me how they wish me to speak. That's
Marge, the
basically
one
it.
thing I have heard asked many times, why did LLB say it was not a good thing why Indian Hill was not good for the seniors? There was never nobody ever heard a reason why.
Oh, yes.
No,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
well, it didn't get publicized.
Yes, it
Oh,
Oh,
did-
yes, it did.
And it's online.
They
It's
did
online.
a report to the select board in February of 2021, and in that report, they outlined
Everything.
architecturally unsound
Yep.
I'll
problems.
have to go back
with
because-
and it is still, all those reports are still online.
all online.
There's an executive summary of the report that goes on for pages with numerous deficiencies and numerous problems of making it a senior center, not just the building itself.
yeah.
And at that point, that was even before they owned
Well,
Indian
that-
Hill.
yeah.
And that was taken off the table, the same way DCU was taken off the table. And in the meantime, been doing what we've been doing. But yes, there are reports out there, and
okay,
it's
'cause
an
I never-
extensive report.
And I often,
Extensive.
And I've been reading them all weekend long, so if there's anything you want to know,
Well,
I
see, if
probably
had
have it
known
up here
about-
right now. It's
If I'd known
just,
about George, I would have.
Well, this
watched
just,
it.
I
This
don't
just
know.
happened.
This just happened.
Friday.
His meeting on Friday, if I'd known there was something, I would have.
What meeting? on Friday?
no,
did
he
his
just put a TV
LCTV.
show.
It's his TV show.
I didn't know he had one.
He does.
Oh, he's had one for a long time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, he does a monthly show.
It was I don't think the recording of it was posted until either Thursday or Friday.
It just came out.
It was just at the
It's
end
only
of
the
the
1st of
week
July
last
now.
week.
What's
Yeah.
today?
It
Tonight,
was-
the 10th.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So
The
it came
thing-
out last week sometime. I saw it Friday.
My opinion is, in order to build a senior center and make it a senior center for all seniors, dementia-friendly people, and everyone else. There is a lot of construction and a lot of work that has gone into a year and a half with Liz meeting once a month to go over how it has to be built, the kinds of materials that has to be used, the fact that it's a cement building over there and the floor is cement. In order to have exercise room, you have to have the cement with a padding over that and then a kind of flooring over that. I've been listening to just a portion of what Liz has gone through for a year and a half, and I would recommend myself that she be at these meetings, so if we need to ask questions, or Selectmen or FinCom, she's got it all in her head. She knows everything in the last year and a half that we've done to put that senior center up there where it is. And the idea that someone at the last minute would say, who doesn't know all the workings to put it ADA and senior friendly, to come up with this at the last minute is just, in my opinion, appalling. And I would ask Liz, we have the finances to do this. Am I correct?
You're correct.
Thank you.
So the whole issue is that that building, the Indian Hill building, was essentially, from a perspective of rehabbing it for seniors, it was impossible to do because of the structure of what's there now.
Yep.
Plus, it would be a major many millions of dollars. You'd have to rebuild the building.
For
to
seniors.
have- I mean,
yeah.
there's not a possibility of having a large function room there. To, with flexibility to accommodate different size functions that we need.
And no kitchen.
No kitchen, no. And the elevator is in such a place that it would not be easily accessible. We don't need 3 stories, and so fine, put Park and Rec in the third, but we're not gonna give the whole third floor away. We don't need all that space. And so it was deemed just not a feasible thing. And he's saying, take the $5 million, use that to rehab Indian Hill. And we don't know what it would cost to rebuild that building to make it a building that would be suitable for senior citizens and the needs of senior citizens. Basically, I mean, you can go over all the details about it, but it's been documented quite well. And it's foolish to spend more money to have another, assessment done there, in my opinion.
Marge,
Yes,
could I please just add something?
yes.
So if we tried, so when the space needs study was put together,
Right.
they went through square foot by square foot what we would need to accommodate all of the programs we do, from blood pressure clinics to 125 person luncheons and
Right.
dancing and exercise rooms, things like that. So we went through square by square to calculate what we actually needed. If we tried to kind of retrofit our programming into a building that already architecturally exists, it has its
Right.
footprint, it would be exactly like what we're doing upstairs, where we're kind of trying to make the wrong size rooms fit for what we need, where our program rooms aren't quite big enough for
Right.
classes and lectures, but they do okay if we split it up. So we don't want to, that's a lot of money to invest in making something sort of work.
Yeah,
When we
and
have the opportunity and the funding in place to make something that works for the next several decades.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, it could be a different story if we go out to bid next month and the bids come back astronomical. It could be a totally different story. But where we are right now, we have the funding. We have 13.5 in total authorizations, 5 million in the Senior Center Stabilization Fund, another $80-ish thousand from closed articles. There's also ARPA funds, about $1 million, that are set aside for a senior center building, and plus there's about 200 to 250 in other non-allocated senior center stabilization funds. So we have the money, it's there, it's set aside for us.
According to the PMBC meeting I watched over the weekend, Brian puts in that there are several contingency funds already built into the dollar amount for in case of.
Right, there's actually a 5% construction contingency, a 2% construction, owner's cost contingency, which is like tech and furniture and equipment. And then there's also an escalation contingency as well. And those might go away after we receive the hard bids. We don't know yet. We
The
don't know what those are.
contingency will stay. The contingencies have always stayed on any of the PMBC projects, till closer to the end of the project. So those will stay as
Yeah.
contingencies.
We don't know until we're there.
That's right.
Yeah.
And don't we have some kind of a commitment, an MOU for a dollar amount?
We have, think of the proper term.
Yeah, I'm not using the
Yeah,
proper term either.
The proper term is escaping me right now, but we do have a budget that we're working under, and the architects, the builder, CM, OPM, everyone knows what our number is. The building is at 18.5 right now, and that's a big, big number. But we went through a very intensive value engineering exercise, where I think we've taken off at least $1 million, maybe some more, with a change in the slope of the roof, and various things throughout the building, including taking out 600 square feet from the building, where I can share this picture that I have, where it's 300 square feet per floor, but taken out in swaths. I think that's the right word. Let's see if we can see that. So 1 square foot through the administrative offices, that skinny yellow line,
Okay.
and then about a 4-foot swath through the middle of the lobby. So kind of open space that kind of cinches things in a little bit more, but that'll save money in construction materials without really affecting much of the program space.
No, it's just your description of, trying to fit something in to partially make it work. It just doesn't make sense.
No.
It's not a good investment.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. And, I understand. I don't know whatever happened to the conservation, wasn't it not conservation? What's the group that had the money that was going to be paying for the cost of the rebuilding the tennis courts? CPA, yes. Whatever happened to that? I heard they couldn't use those funds, community
Community Preservation Association. I
okay.
used to sit on that.
Okay, well, they cannot, that money cannot be used to repair things, but it could be used to build things. So I don't understand why George is counting that $1 million to build new tennis courts, adding that into the cost of the senior center. So,
They have to spend, and I can't remember all it is, so much money for historic preservation, so much money for passive recreation. Do you remember what?
Historical.
Historical,
There's one open-ended
Yeah.
area that can be used for.
affordable
housing.
yeah.
so there's a possibility there could be some money from that to help with the tennis court development if they're rebuilt?
Not if they're rebuilding, but those aren't passive recreation.
But it can be active recreation,
Right,
isn't it?
yeah.
Passive.
So, anyway, I don't know what happened with that, because I know at one point people were talking, the select board was talking about that, but anyway,
Anyway, if I
Yes.
can make a statement?
yes.
First of all, I honor a lot of things that George Sanders has done, a lot of work, and he's put into trying to make Littleton a better town. There's no doubt about it.
There is no doubt, I agree with you.
He and I exchanged emails a lot while I was on the board, and still do now. So I was aware of this past week, and I honor what he says. And he's trying to, his outlook for the town is
Right.
is all there for the town. And one of the best things that you already mentioned was that he says, you might not agree with me, but here's what I want to say. In my opinion, and this is my opinion, I was on the select board for 20-something years, and it seemed like the one project I could put off
Yes.
year upon year upon year, and it was the easiest thing to do. And I don't mean it mean to myself or any board members, but something always seemed to come up that the senior center could put on the back burner.
Right.
We're gonna do it next year. We're gonna form this committee and do that. And
wait.
and I like the research that you did about all the comments that were made about the Indian Hill Center. I mean, it's a building that can be used, but I don't think it's adequate for all the needs that you just
And the
mentioned.
location in and of itself isn't good either.
And I just find it, and I love him to, everything that he's done, but after all this time
Yeah.
to come to this point right
Yes.
now and say, something, let's put it in the back burner, and that's what exactly if we do this, it's gonna be put in the back burner again.
And then
how many
Shaker
years-
Lane will come up before that,
And how many
and
years
we'll
of
lose
a
out to
study we'll
Shaker
have to go
Lane.
back into
Right.
Do it all
making
over
the,
again.
making the Indian Hill work, even if it can't work. So
No, but if-
at this point, with everything, the research that's been done, the time that's been spent, I don't think it's the right thing for this town to bring it to a halt. Let's bring this forward.
And I'm sorry that you have to cut anything out of it.
Yeah, we've had to cut some.
I know,
some of
and
the
I'm
kitchen
really,
things. And Liz, you have to leave. It's like,
Yeah, I got about,
so I want
3 minutes.
her to be able to wrap up what she
Yeah.
wants to offer, so.
we're not losing any really functional space. That's the only reason I agreed to those cuts.
Yeah.
And actually, if you watch the PMBC meeting, I think it was June 28th, Steve Moore and Bob Romley were saying, do we really need to take that 1 foot
I saw that.
yes.
out? Maybe we could just leave that. So let's find out how much things change with the new roof line, simplified roof line, and the previous design had really intricate windows and framing, and we simplified that.
Those are gone, yeah.
So instead of multi-panel and all kinds of different shapes at the top, just your traditional style.
But at least
window.
they're large windows. That's
Very
another
large
problem with
windows.
Indian Hill. The windows are so small,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
So-
I mean, Indian Hill, in my opinion, it could be rehabbed for Park and Rec and the school committee. It's
Or it
school-
could be,
school
it
offices.
would make a great community center,
Well,
not,
yeah.
But right now, isn't Park and Rec putting together at least informal plans on how to convert that for them over there?
Indian Hill, they started, because
They
I think,
started.
it's yeah. So I don't know,
I mean, it's not formal, but they've
Yeah.
been,
I don't know where they're at, but
So is the
in
school
my mind, it
department.
would be
The school
easier to
department
rehab
wants
that
all of
building
it.
for the school
course they do.
department
they want to
needs.
take away what
and,
part
you know.
was supposed to be Park and Rec.
So, okay, well,
Okay.
so I'm planning on being at the FinCom meeting tomorrow night too, in case there's a need for any
could you
funding,
do
but
me a favor? The numbers that you quoted, could you email me those? Because that's the topic that I'm gonna talk about tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So I want
Those-
to know what I'm talking about.
Yes, and those numbers came right from the treasurer and finance team, so.
So they know it
Also from that
anyway.
meeting, yeah.
So they know it
They
anyway.
know we have the money there. It is,
They
I
talked
mean, it
about
is
the
a lot.
money at the last.
George has a point, it's a lot,
it is a lot. I mean, there's no question, and I respect George for that, and I,
absolutely.
I do. And I don't mean to be negative at all. It's just that I agree. If this is the, down, I mean, say something 8 months ago about it. I mean,
It's not gonna get any cheaper if we wait.
No,
No, it's gonna get worse.
and it didn't with the library. I mean, the
Construction
prices went up
prices
with the
are
library.
not gonna go down.
No,
So,
prices gonna go
okay.
up.
All right, so we're kind of all in consensus that we don't think that's such a great idea,
No.
right? Are we okay with that? Okay.
Are you, Joe, intending on making selectmen's meeting tonight?
I hadn't thought about, if I can, I will. What time is that?
6:30.
That's 7:30, right?
Well, the appointments are gonna be 7:30.
But this
meeting
is-
starts at 6:30.
They don't have this on the agenda, but you know that George is gonna bring it up
He's only,
during
yeah.
public input.
He's not on their agenda, but he is gonna speak, he'll be there to do the public input portion.
I'll
So,
do my best to be there.
I
And,
think
and
we
tomorrow
need
night
to be
it's
out there
on,
supporting,
tomorrow night it's on Zoom.
yeah,
At 7.
And anybody that could be the go, because I know you gotta go. You want us to
Would you
take?
mind just when you're done, shut, unplug, put it in the bag?
Sure.
and-
Where do you want me to put the bag?
I
she'll
don't want to
be
put on
back here.
TV.
Want to take it home? And I'll
Huh.
grab it from you tomorrow?
Sure. I'll throw it in my car with my stuff. Okay.
I don't need it for anything except this meeting.
I'll take care of it. Okay, thank you. Okay. She has to leave because of kids, so, you know. Yeah, I do too. So I was trying to get us there. Okay, I just, when this happened and we became aware, if I'd known Joe, you probably would have heard from us because Anita and Susan and I were, you know, like, and Liz, it was like, you know, where did this come from? So, and it is, you know, I do respect him, and he spoke about everything that's going on in town, all of the costs that we've, you know, and there is concern, we're all concerned about that. So I understand that, but, you know, and as I understand it, most of the select board still are feeling like the senior center is most, I'm saying, you know, are saying, let's go ahead. So, I don't know, we'll find out tonight, but they're not gonna discuss it, it's not on their agenda.
So there
For
would be
tonight.
no vote on it anyway.
No, not
That's
tonight.
one good thing.
That is, no,
There's no
no,
vote.
no, and I don't know what the FinCom is gonna do, but I know that he has charged the FinCom and the select board with this whole thing. He wrote a letter to them, but that's what he said, he's contacted them.
Well, in the FinCom's
in
agenda
the-
simply says to review and discuss the letter that was received.
So, but we,
So,
it,
that's what
but
they're
it's,
gonna talk
he
about.
says, he talks about it all in his show.
Yeah.
And that's where,
He
you know, you
does
can
30
learn a lot.
minutes. He does 30 minutes.
37 minutes.
I'm sorry, 37 minutes.
37 minutes, I watched it too.
And was it all on the senior center?
No, no, no. he
show-
talks in the
37
beginning.
minutes was on the senior
That's what I
center.
meant.
37 minutes was the whole show, 30 minutes
Was the
was
senior.
the
Right,
senior center
Pretty much,
only.
yes. The beginning.
And you
he-
can watch it, it's right there.
It
And,
doesn't take
Pull
long.
it right up.
and basically was asking for people to make phone calls to
Right.
say, put the brakes on.
And stop.
Call and/or go to the meeting tonight and tomorrow night to speak in person during the public input
And he
time.
gave the
That's
phone
what he
number
asked people
of
to
town
do.
administrator. Call.
Yes.
Poor Ryan.
And I,
No, he said the secretary, just leave a message. Leave
Leave
a
a
message, he
message.
said, leave a message. He did.
right, he
Leave a
did.
message.
And you what?
No, I was going to say, I was planning to be at the select board meeting tonight after I watched George and hadn't talked to anybody. I decided I was going to the select board and make a statement in public participation part, just from me, not, obviously not from the board, so.
Well, having gotten together and talked about it, I don't see why you can't represent the board.
No, that's
you
up to the,
can't.
that's up to the board. I've got a copy of what I was going to say.
You wanna
if
hear
any-
what she's going to say?
I would like to hear what you're going to say, and then we can vote on it,
That's fine.
that you can be our representative.
Should, do I want to do it? I
Yeah,
mean,
Sure.
okay.
No, I think if possible that we, and I know that, our town administrator, acting town administrator does not want Liz present at the meetings. She reiterated that to me.
Did
today.
not want what?
Liz present.
Liz does not need to be
No,
involved
Liz
in this.
is
The
not to
board
go.
does,
We have to do
Okay.
it.
yes.
Then I definitely would like to hear.
So
Okay,
do
I
that.
will, this was basically my rough draft. I can make any changes between now and tonight. And this is directed to the select board. I implore you to not have a quick reaction to the proposal presented tonight by Mr. Sanders. Any major change in the process of constructing the center on Shattuck Street, also known as the senior center, needs careful consideration, in-depth study, and discussions that include all the stakeholders. And by the way, this is not just a major change. This is basically starting the process completely over again.
Oh, we can't do that.
The space needs of the town have been discussed and studied since 2017. 2017, that's 5 long years. It isn't just Elder and Human Services and Park and Rec that need more space. Every department in town is in need, and many plans have been considered, including studying the Indian Hill Music Center as a possible site for the senior center. That contracted study in 2021 indicated that the building was not suitable for use as a senior center. Architecturally, it does not allow for multiple large program rooms, it lacks natural lighting, and it would require major upgrades. And the report outlines other areas of deficiencies. When the Indian Hill Music Center was purchased by the town this year, the plan explained to residents at that time was that it would house the school department and Park and Rec. At the open house, representatives from both those entities were present and talked about how this plan would meet their needs. In fact, members of Park and Rec spoke excitedly about the planned usage of spaces in that building. Please, please, please don't take action based on cost alone.
I think it's
Yeah,
great.
that's
I think
great.
It's good.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Are you
just
okay
for
with that?
me, or if
Yeah.
you give me permission to make it from the board, I'm willing to do
Okay,
that too.
I
Do you give her
I
permission?
give you permission, I give you permission to read this from the COA board.
Okay?
I
Thank you.
second that.
Okay, we have a vote here. Any other discussion
Does it
about
need
it?
a vote, or just all of
You
us
don't
say?
need a vote.
You
Okay.
don't need a vote,
You
just
can just
everybody
say
say
it.
yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
We
and
have a
yes.
consensus that
We
I
have
can.
consensus.
We have,
And
yeah,
I also will ask that in the event, I'm planning on attending the
finance,
finance tomorrow. In the event that it seems appropriate, these are what Susan has said echoes, all of our concerns.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
we all have the same things to worry about it converting that and rehabbing that building. It would be exorbitantly. You'd have to rebuild the building essentially to make it be able to
would
fit
have
and
to.
work for us.
it wouldn't
And
work.
our needs are so different than the school department needs and things of that
You know
nature.
what they wanna do? They wanna use that for filing,
Well, anyway, but that's fine.
which is
but,
ridiculous.
That's neither here or there.
No, it isn't here, there. So,
No,
okay, are we
but-
done with that? We're
Yes.
done?
That
Okay.
piece, yeah.
All
I
right,
will
so thank you
represent
all,
the
because
board.
it just threw a little curveball at us.
Thank you.
I didn't know George Sanders had a thing every,
So, I agree with you, though, and George has been, he's
Forgot
actually
what it's
gotten much
called
better,
now,
I think,
but
over the
I
years.
never watched
I
it.
admire
I had
him.
heard-
Yes, I know.
Don't always agree with him, but I
No, I don't either, but you know
always,
what?
always love to listen to his reasoning.
He, and I gotta find my agenda, I just am so excited about things myself from here.
he
I
does a
lost
lot
it,
of
but anyway.
research, but
Right there.
sometimes he makes me
Well,
feel
that's
he's a
fine.
negative type person
Has
instead of a
agenda here?
positive.
I piled it someplace, here it is,
He
the
looks-
bottom.
He plays the
Okay.
devil's advocate a lot.
I think we've covered everything. We don't have
No, we
any other
haven't.
updates. We haven't.
No,
Do
we
you-
haven't.
We have to, the senior tax relief, you want to address that?
I do.
Okay. We are going to be talking about that at our next meeting, too. We need to get to work on that, but go
I
ahead.
was just gonna bring an update from
Okay.
last month.
Okay, do that.
I've gone and I've collected, we have 1,558 seniors that are 65 and older in Littleton. And I'm putting together a spreadsheet of all of the exemptions that at 65 you can apply for through the Board of Assessors. And we're hoping, I'm on a committee called the Committee for Tax Relief for Seniors. And it consists of Chuck and Gary and Peter Barbella and Kevin Bergen, I think his name is, and me. And we're trying to figure out ways to get all this information out to the seniors and how we can do it. And one of the things by putting a spreadsheet together is we're hoping to put it in the broadcaster as just a little sheet to add in. There has been talk about labeling letters and sending them to individual seniors. If that happens, I'm going to be asking people on the board to help me
I'll
label
gladly help you with that.
1,500
Because
envelopes.
the way
We
the
hope
friend-
it doesn't come to that, but whatever way we can get it out. And we're also thinking that we would do what they've been doing a lot in COA, which is a lunch and learn. And those programs have been very positive, so we can ask for a lunch and learn put on by us, and then the assessor's office will be there to explain all of the exemptions. And if we have to do it a couple of times, we'll do it a couple of times, but Chuck and Gary are really pushing to get this information out to people.
And the other part is that the board needs to be aware of, if I'm not wrong, is that all this information has, the deadline has to.
There is a deadline, yeah.
Of December?
December is when the tax bills go out, yes.
Yeah, so we need to get acting on this right away.
Mhm.
You know, so this should be a
Yeah.
primary focus of our, and gain our attention, which we can talk about when we're going over the rules and regs and, you know, our responsibilities and everything else.
Well, I
think
hope
it
to
fits in
bring,
with that next
I
month,
hope to bring the spreadsheet complete
next month.
and ready to go, because it's being reviewed by the assessor's office right now.
And interestingly enough, I gave Anita today, to just decide,
Oh, yes.
on the weekend,
have to read
once
that.
this whole came up with George, I started using my computer and researching and looking at, you know, senior centers and other things. I just thought, is anything else out there I can use that would help in the issue here? Anyway, but I came across, on the National Council on Aging website, were 3 handouts that they put together specifically for COAs to use as handouts about tax relief for seniors. And so I'm like, I printed them to give them to Anita, and for her to look at, and whether or not they want to use something like that,
Well,
but they're there.
we're working with the circuit breaker.
Yeah, and what they did was, they actually listed on the website too, things that you should be doing to get the word out. Like put one of them in these flyers in the broadcaster, you know, inside, you know, et cetera, and,
Highlight show.
you know, other ways of getting information.
Highlight show.
The
The
electric bill.
highlight show, that's right. So anyway,
The electric bill.
Yeah.
well, maybe, yeah, so
That,
I
They
gave
maybe
those
would
to
do
Anita,
it.
but it is a big issue,
Everybody
and we
gets-
need to really focus on
everybody
that.
gets an electric
up
bill,
through
everybody does
December, I
not get a
think,
water
so.
bill.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're gonna be together now.
I know.
There's only gonna be one bill,
Yeah, I know.
so.
Well, I don't want a water bill.
Do we have any other business to address formally?
I don't know
I
of
don't.
any that I can think of.
No, I think
We've
nothing.
voted to accept the reports, we've done that, I don't think we've missed anything, and
No.
so I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting, because it's
So,
I move that we adjourn at 4:42.
I
Four
second.
42, yes.
Second.
Second, we have a motion to adjourn, made by Marilyn, seconded by Susan. Okay, we'll go for a vote. Joe?
Yes.
Yes. Anita?
yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Marilyn, yes. Okay, Susan?
Yes.
Marge is a yes, and Lorelei? You want to get done? Okay, thank you.